So, what do you like most about painting? For me, painting is just something that I do all the time, but it's something that you never stop thinking about, you know. So I love feeling inspired and coming up with new ideas, but I love how all encompassing it is. So, you know, if you're going to bed at night, you're thinking about a painting. If you're coming to work in the morning, you're thinking about what you're going to paint again that day. So yeah, I love how it grabs you and you can't stop painting all the time, you know, you can't stop thinking about it. That's what I love. What kind of paint do you use? I use a real mixture of paint, so I'll use artist quality acrylic paint, I use water soluble oil paint, I use oil pastel, I use gold leaf spray paints. I'll show you all later how I use these things in a bit as well. So yeah, a real mixture, you know, mainly acrylic, but a real mixture of different things. Which was your first painting? As I said, I can't remember when I was really small what my first painting was, but the one that I showed you in the book there, in this style, was my first painting. Why did you decide to be a painter? Basically, it was the best thing I was good at school, you know, it was my favourite subject, but I think I always wanted to make something, you know, I always wanted to make things. So for me, to be creative is the most important thing. And you can apply that to anything really, you know, but real creative jobs interest me. So I think if I wasn't a painter, I'd like to be a chef, or I'd like to be a joiner, you know, somebody working with wood. As long as I was making something, I'd be happy, you know. What is your favourite sport? Basketball. I always played basketball when I was young. Still do play basketball, but yeah, I love it. I love it, especially playing it. My favourite game to play, my favourite sport to play is basketball, but my favourite sport to watch is football. What is your favourite football team? Celtic. Glasgow Celtic is my favourite football team. Do the houses really exist? What I do a lot of the time for inspiration is look at really old Scottish buildings, look at castles, look at old cottages, bothies we call them, and use them for inspiration. So a lot of the time what I'll do is fill a sketchbook full of drawings of these real places and then stylise them into my work, and then use the sketches as the inspiration. So by the time the painting's finished, it might not look exactly like the real place, but that's where the inspirations come from. And the last sheet of questions here. What are you working on now? So just behind me here, these are paintings. I'm doing two of the same painting, which I don't normally do, but these are paintings for commissions for Christmas, so for two different people. This one here I started first, and somebody else said, could I have the next one that I was doing? I was using this one almost like a sketch. So this is an Edinburgh night one here, so this is Edinburgh Castle here, and then Scots Monument and the big wheel here, and it's going to be all the lights of the city and stars and the moon and everything. So hopefully I'll finish them in the next couple of days. Why did you decide to be a painter? As I said, basically it was just something that I always knew I was going to do, you know, but to be creative. How long have you been painting? Again, I've answered that, but you know, always, but professionally, about 12 years. How many hours do you work in a day? Come to work every day 10 o'clock and then leave at 6 o'clock at night. So working 8 hours a day, and then I'd usually work either 5 or 6 days a week. Though actual painting is probably about half of that time, roughly, actually sitting at the easel or standing at the easel painting. But hopefully I try and paint about 5-6 hours a day. What is your favourite painter? Lots of painters that I love, certainly. One of my favourite painters though is probably Picasso, just because you can start from when he was really young and see how a brilliant painter he was and technically gifted he was, to his last paintings when he really, you know, tried everything within art. You know, he was great at making prints, he was great at making sculptures, he was, you know, great at everything, and he wanted to try everything. So to look at an artist's life and their whole work, Picasso's interests me the most, I would say. Can you show us a painting you did when you were our age? Not really, no, I don't have anything that old here. The only thing really was the very early paintings I showed you in the book there. I'll show you another couple more, and these ones are about 12 years old. So I was a bit older than you, but I was about 20 when I painted these ones. So you can see it's quite different, and just really trying out different things and developing the style. So much the same, but quite different too. It's almost the same painting as I'm painting here behind, but 10 years before. And that's a bit more abstract. Why are all your paintings at night? As I mentioned at the beginning, really to give that dreamlike quality to everything, you know. If I do paint, which I do paint more daytime scenes, you know, all different colours, skies, and, you know, try and vary it as much as I can, but nothing seems to have the same impact and the same contrast as the starry nights do, you know. As soon as you put colour against the dark blue of the sky, it really jumps out at you. So yeah, a couple of reasons really: the look of it, and to try and get that real dreaminess into the work as well. What's your favourite painting? I don't really have a favourite painting of my own, certainly. The favourite thing that I do always is just the next new one, you know. The most exciting thing for me is when you're working on a painting, and usually when you get to about halfway it gets really exciting and you think, oh, it's going to work now, I can do this, it's going to turn out okay. And then usually by the time I get to an end of a painting I think, it's okay, do you know, I want to do the next one then and challenge myself again. So yeah, that's the most exciting thing, is just when you're in the middle of a painting trying to make it work. My favourite painting by somebody else, I love, as I said, Picasso, but I love Van Gogh's Cafe at Night, the street scene of the Cafe at Night, but that, or his Starry Night painting, as you can see in my work, is a great inspiration for me. So thank you, that's all the questions answered there hopefully, and I'll just set up the studio and show you around the studio and gallery now. Okay, thank you.